always an extra special game, this one, isn't it? Always full of passion, always full of zest, always full of spice, but perhaps that extra zing today, because I can't remember a time when these two teams have been closer on points, closer in terms of position, closer in terms of potential for the season. Mikel Arteta's young guns, of course, they've won 7 out of 8 in all competitions so far this season. As you say, going into this game, top of the table. Antonio Conte's Spurs, perhaps not so Spursy these days, certainly at the moment, unbeaten in the Premier League, and even getting points when they've not been playing so well. So yeah, really anticipating this one. And as you say, the winner today, if it's Arsenal, will stay top. If it's Tottenham, they'll go top at least for 24 hours or so.
I mean, this fixture has produced, quite a few red cards in the past, hasn't it? Mikel Arteta said he won't be speaking to his players about their discipline. Is it hard not to get swept up by, I guess, all the emotion that comes with this kind of game?
Well, of course, all through history, in derbies, and the North London derby in particular, and certainly no exceptions to some of the bigger derbies around the world, even though players these days perhaps aren't from the local area, not most of them anyway, don't fully appreciate and understand just what it means to the fans, just what it means to the clubs. Still, they know they've been told enough to go out there and give their all, perhaps going into that slightly dodgy tackle early on, just to leave a mark. Throughout history that has happened, and of course it's no different these days. Red cards flying around in these fixtures, and a bit of history as well, of course, between the two managers. Some post-match comments made after both the recent London derbies. So yeah, it's going to be one for the referee to really have to keep a close eye on. And of course the fans love it, don't they? It'll be a packed stadium here. The fans actually love to see that all guns, all throttle, full throttle start to the game, and perhaps hopefully quietens down as the game goes on.
It's all about emotion and just willingness to get to that moment and have enjoyment. It's the nicest game of the season by a mile, for what it means to our supporters, for the history of it, and now as well, because looking at the table and where we both think wants to be becomes a really important match. So I think the word is excitement.
And Gary, Spurs have failed to win any of the last 11 North London derbies away from home in the league. Could this be the day they turn it around, do you think?
Yeah, it's 12 years, isn't it, since Spurs managed to win here in the Premier League, in the North London derby. So that is actually a pretty telling stat, isn't it? They haven't lost them all, of course, have been draws as well, and it's a similar picture the other way around. The home team in this fixture doesn't tend to lose, and you can't really, can you, put a hair between these two sides at the moment. Perhaps look at the most recent derbies for an example of that. A year ago, or just about a year ago, Mikel Arteta had lost the first 3 games in the Premier League. They then managed to get a couple of victories, and famously, if you watch that documentary, got the club photographer who'd been at the club a lifetime to give the team talk, and of course we know what happened, that they won that game. And then what was it now, 5 months ago, Arsenal getting a little bit of criticism for pulling out of the fixture originally because they couldn't field, they said, a full team and a full bench, and that they went to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, winner take all in terms of the Champions League places. Arsenal had the benefit of being on top going into that fixture, but of course were well beaten. Although Antonio Conte's experience of the North London derby isn't great, and the experience of this place isn't great either in terms of winning and getting a result. He didn't win here when he was Chelsea manager either. And you remember that first game he had here against Chelsea early on in his tenure. They were 3-0 down at half-time, and that provoked him into changing to 3 at the back, and obviously they went on that winning run and took the league title. So a bit of history here for both Antonio Conte and, of course, for Spurs.
Arsenal had a fantastic start. They lost only one game against United, and then they are showing to be a really good team. I think that in the summer they made good sign for them and improved the team.
So in terms of some brief team news, Zinchenko and Odegaard potentially back after injury for Arsenal. That would really be a boost for Arsenal fans, wouldn't it? Antonio Conte's being pretty coy, keeping cards close to his chest when it comes to his team news, but suggestions that Hugo Lloris, who picked up an injury on international duty, may well be fit to start. And of course, added spice to this fixture this time, the boys from Brazil. Which one of those will come out on top?